But then it hit me. When they gave me the impression that I was alone, that was a lie. A lie I had been spoon-fed my entire life. All that time, all those years I had spent feeling alone, had been because of a lie. That pissed me off. That still pisses me off. It's the same way with all the atheists I've discussed this with. I dare to say, the doubters you know and have known, people who aren't all that atheists, but just have a few doubts about religion, are probably under the same impression, the same false impression. In the U.S. alone, atheists number more than 36 million. The last thing in the world any of us should feel is loneliness, yet we have, and we do. That's what sets me off so much. They raised me on a lot of lies. They told me that atheists are cowardly and unpatriotic. They told me that atheists are evil, corrupt, unintelligent gluttons. These are all demonstrable falsehoods I was raised on. George Bush Sr. denies the right of atheists to be recognized as patriots or even as citizens, and I have a problem. Mike Huckabee goes on national television and describes believers as, quote, people who don't believe in anything but themselves, and I have a problem. Mitt Romney on the campaign trail declares that atheists have no place within the U.S. chorus of faith, and I have a problem. Steve Harvey goes on Tyra Banks and impugns atheist morality, and the audience finds it amusing. Psalm 14 verse 1 declares atheists unintelligent and corrupt and alleges we do no good. A very skilled, talented athlete has a shot at a very promising career in the NFL, but passes it up in favor of enlistment in the Army because he considers service to his country, its Constitution, and its Bill of Rights more important. While serving, he makes no secret of his atheism. He is an atheist, from a family of atheists. When he dies in Afghanistan, his family receives a list of vague descriptions of the details surrounding his death and pressures the Army for clarification. The Army responds with more vague and internally conflicting information, so the family keeps up the pressure. Finally, fed up with their persistence, the atheist soldier's commanding officer alleges that the problem here is that the family is just not at peace with their son being reduced to worm's meat. How common is the rhetoric that there are no atheists in a foxhole? How often is it heard that atheists are just corrupt, rebellious people who just want to sin and get away with it? An atheist says, I don't believe in the invisible sky daddy and his zombie son, and he or she risks having all of his or her friends or family turn their backs, maybe for years. But a priest spends years abusing and molesting small children and telling them that they'll go straight to hell to be tortured eternally if anyone ever finds out about it, and when he's finally found out, he just says, the devil misled me, but I repent, and all is forgiven. And you talk to me about consequences. My family has various preconceived molds of what they want me to be. Whenever I do or say anything that fits one of those molds, the individual who holds it remembers that. But whenever I do or say anything that doesn't fit it, that gets ignored and forgotten. All I want here is to be accepted and loved for who and what I am, as if love were truly unconditional. But they can't do that, because what I am is distressing. They cling to the image because it is comforting. Now look at your letter. You look around at a world full of the sadness of people choosing sin, death, destruction, as you put it, and you believe there has to be a God, and his name is Jesus Christ, who will one day restore this earth to perfection. There will be justice, there will be no more death, no more pain, no more suffering for those who truly seek it. In other words, you look around at a world which distresses you, and you cling to these beliefs because you find them comforting. Your beliefs are a security blanket. You hold them because they are comforting. Never mind whether they are true or rational. Comfort is what matters to you. That's your reason for believing this. In almost every measurable way, the world is more just now than ever before in history. People have more personal freedoms, better health care, better health, they're living longer and growing taller, but this is because of the efforts of prior generations. They practice the approach of examining a given problem, trying to understand the processes responsible for that problem, then trying to influence those processes to have a better outcome instead of just hoping that someday some transcendent sovereign will solve it. Why do you lament death if heaven lies beyond? If going to heaven is what people do after they die, why do you regret that people die? Do I recognize your right to believe as you see fit? Of course. Do you recognize my right to call your beliefs a security blanket? And since you clearly don't have my position right, since your interpretation of my position is distorted by what you've been told atheism is by people who it's clear to me were not atheists, could you please not say that you know what my belief system is? Well, alright. I've had my rant. If we ever discuss this again, it will be because you have brought it up. If I ever write another one of these letters, it will be in response to something you have said or written. And anytime you want to swap books, I'm game.